Today we're going to be featuring a team built around Tinkaton with Mold Breaker as a strong way to still be a good fake out user against a lot of incoming priority blockers, specifically for Rigor F, which has only risen in usage during the entire regulation. With strong partners like Chiem Pao and also Ogrepon Teal, this team proves to be a very terrifying team despite using a lot of more unconventional picks. While I don't know exactly what the defensive calcs go for on this team, the team overall is still a really good offensive build, and I'm just going to link the creator down below where you can check them out. They made Day 2 Orlando with this, which is a pretty impressive feat to be doing, especially with a Pokemon that a lot of people are overlooking. So hopefully you guys enjoy, and if you do, leave a like and subscribe for more. And with that said, let's show off the team, the rental here first. Here's the rental, by the way, in case you guys haven't clicked on it yet. But with that said, though, let's actually show off the team in action. All right, we're here with the battle today. This video is not gonna have a builder, by the way, so we're gonna aim for at least 3 games, maybe even 4 depending on how quick they go, because I don't know a lot of the calcs for this one. This team is built by someone who actually did really well at Orlando Regionals, made top 64, got 58th exactly with by the username of Chef Rich 2479 on YouTube. I'll put the record on screen like here somewhere so you guys can see. No, it goes this way, I know my stuff. We're fighting Sand for our first matchup though. Looking at this in particular, so with this type of team, I don't know if this is Tinkaton's game necessarily, though having a nice Fang Out Mon is not terrible. I think what we're actually going to probably opt for is going for Tailwind, so I'll probably go with Urshifu and Roaring Moon immediately on lead. I think that's going to be a really strong lead for us. Then we're going to bring the Hisui Arcanine for sure. I think especially... actually, we're going to go with Pao. I feel like Pao is going to be slightly better. Corv could be kind of a problem, but Urshifu plus Pao can still put up some decent pressure into it, and I could probably knock off the item and then just win with Ogrepon. I think is going to be the play. I could actually... No, I'm gonna bench Ogrepon this game as well. While it would be nice to have a ground resist at all, I think that we will probably be better off just going for Harkanine's dual stab here, because it does hit everything besides the T-Tar really well. The Ogrepon, meanwhile, is only good into the Sand Core, and I feel like I have better options for it, such as my Urshifu Rapid, and also my Pao definitely will pressure it better, just by going for Sucker Punch. We're going to lead off with Corviknight Okidogi. This is actually a very okay lead for me. I can proceed to just go for, so, let's see, so, I don't want to Terra, because while I would get around Brave Bird, at the same time, Corviknight is not gonna, it's going to Tailwind this turn anyway to match me. I'm going to go for Tailwind here. And then I'm going to go for Surging Strikes into Okidogi before it like, really gets set up too much and pressures my Roaring Moon that way. I would rather just get the damage off on this. It will probably Drain Punch me if I had to guess, or maybe go for Bulk Up, depending on if this is AV or if it's just a Bulk Up Leftovers moveset. Either way, though, I do need the damage off an Okidogi, or at least at minimum I need to try and kill it as quickly as possible. This is probably, I feel like this might be AV, and just like a really BizDef AV set. Regardless, though, that's still considerable damage, and if this is an AV set and it doesn't go for Drain Punch here, that's really good. They are going to Drain Punch my Moon, that's fine. At least we know, though, and I could probably still take advantage of that, to be fair, by going for like a Breaking Swipe here, because they are looking like they're more offensive. Corviknight's going to go for Brave Bird here. Okay, shit, that actually is kind of surprising, but we'll take it. We're going to go for a knockoff either way into the... I feel like I knock off the Corviknight, because Corviknight I feel like could be kind of a problem. And then I'm going to go for a Detect for now, keep Urshifu alive, let Roaring Moon die. I think it's going to be more beneficial to me in the long term. And then I can get Pao in, and I think once we get Pao in particular next to the Urshifu, that's when we start to cook. They're going to switch out Okidogi actually, which is great for me. I'm curious about what they're bringing in right now, but we've already seen Okidogi and Urshifu. Okay, perfect. Salamence actually comes in. Salamence is fine. We can get a really strong Ice Spinner off into this, and if Corviknight doesn't kill my Roaring Moon this turn and instead goes for my Urshifu, I can just Breaking Swipe and Ice Spinner, and that will definitely kill the Salamence. I'm confident in that. Don't be Helmet, don't be Helmet, don't be Helmet. Wiki Berry. Okay, that's great. We took away some strong recovery for that Pokemon. Now, I'm probably going to have to lose my Urshifu because I do not feel like wasting a Terra Steel on this just to preserve against Corviknight. We'll get off some decent damage here. I'm going to go for a Breaking Swipe this turn. Confident I will lose my Moon, so I don't need to fear Mirror Armor. And then I'm going to go for an Ice Spinner here into the Salamence, which is probably Scarf Tailwind if I had to guess. If my opponent goes for Terra Steel just to preserve against this, I'm kind of okay with that. I don't think I need to preserve, though. They are not going to do that, and instead they're going to take the Breaking Swipe and the Ice Spinner. Again, good chance I have to take the attack drop from Mirror Armor Corviknight. I'm kind of okay with that, because I'm confident that Moon dies this turn. We're going to take Rocky Helmet from the Salamence. That is important to note for later on. And so Ice Runner should kill, even with the -1. Oh, wow, that doesn't kill. Okay. Well, Salamence is almost dead. Corviknight will take a lot from this Brave Bird recoil, at least. Well, not a lot, but it's going to take damage, obviously. No, they're going to go for Roost, actually. That's still fine. I could still let Roaring Moon go down by going for a Breaking Swipe this turn, and then go for Surging Strikes into the Salamence. So I'm actually okay with that. The Salamence having to take the Breaking Swipe here will be huge. Meanwhile, my Roaring Moon will definitely drop. Even if my opponent goes for like a Brave Bird into the Urshifu and that also dies. Getting the Hisui Arcanine and the Chiampao on the field will still be really good for my own positioning. They're going to withdraw Salamence here. Okay, that's still fine. Breaking Swipe will probably hurt whatever they switch in because their team is monophysical besides Amoonguss. They're going to have T-Tar. So their team is T-Tar, Corviknight, Okidogi, and Salamence. So they don't have Drill, which actually means I'm a lot less reliant on the Urshifu this game because I'll still have the Subi and Arcanine, which can get off Intimidate against T-Tar and pressure it. But not only that, I'll also have the POW that can put up a ton of pressure against that. Corviknight's going to take some decent damage here from the Surging Strikes here because it is not one for Terra. That's honestly probably an Icicle Crash range or maybe even Sacred Sword range at this point. And they're going to go for U-turn actually into my Moon, which is huge. That's actually really huge. Now, I think that my Tailwind ends this turn, but I'm kind of okay with that because Corviknight's switching out, which means I get a pretty free turn. And most likely, I mean, depending on what they go into, they still could potentially have to fear my Urshifu. Maybe I Terra just to avoid Sand Chip and like dying to Sand, since that might be an out genuinely to stall through Tailwind. But we'll have to see. Either way, Salamence comes in. I can actually probably just E-speed that and then go for like Terra Ghost on my T-Tar. Actually, Salamence is gonna probably die to Sand, so I could just go for Dual Protect, and that's a viable option to be fair. Tailwind petered out. Okay, that's fine. For now, I'm going into POW. POW is looking like my Terramon, actually, in hindsight. Because Terra Poison's really good for the Okidogi. It also gets me around the Body Pressure from Corviknight, potentially, which we've already seen Roost and Brave Bird. So I'm guessing Iron Man's Body... Well, and U-turn, actually. So maybe they don't have Body Press, but either way, it's something to keep in mind. They have 2 turns of Tailwind left. Yeah, my play is to go for Protect here on both my Pokemon. Urshifu will die. Actually, I can just attack with Urshifu. If they ignore, they ignore. But there's no reason to not attack when it dies to Sand, unless I go for Terra Steel here. It's the only way I keep it around. I'm curious if Salamence is going to Terra just to have that same thing. No, Tyranitar is going to Terra. They're going to Terra into Flying, though, which is fine. I'm very okay with Terra Flying. This just means that they're weaker to Crash now, which is huge. They're giving themselves... Oh, actually, they're also weaker to Rock Slide, which is also really huge for me. Because Harkonine is my last Mon. That's really good, actually. I'm very okay with that. They're going to Roost on Salamence, so they will not die to the Sand. However, they're still going to have to take Sand Chip. And I can still definitely muscle this. They're going to Low Kick, which means that they're going to have to take a Surging Strikes this turn. So trading Urshifu is kind of worth it. This is why I'm glad I did not go for Detect here. The Surging Strikes will nearly take it out, and I feel confident that with the Harkonine coming in, I can get up some decent pressure. I'd actually probably just E-speed that. It looks like it's pretty low at this point, and it's going to have to take Sand Chip as well now, which is huge. So I'm really okay with that, actually. Meanwhile, POW, I'll probably just go for an Icicle Crash into Salamence here, just to make sure that I can like really kill it. And then, yeah, I'll go for Harkonine E-speed into the T-Tar, just to make sure again that I can really kill it. Yeah, I'll go for the Terra Poison as well, because realistically against the last two being Corviknight and who's a what's it, I'm always probably better off. Actually, my play might instead be to go for the... So I feel like, let's see, so we've seen Roost and Tailwind from Salamence. Probably has like Flying Move and Protect. I think my play is actually to go for like a Soccer Punch into the T-Tar here, and then go for Protect, and then preserve my Terra like one turn, and then go for like a Crash, and then go for Terra, and then try and farm off like Rock Slide and all that. That might be the better play here. I think it's a slightly better play, because especially if Corviknight comes in, it's a much more Fruit Flare-lets. They're going to not Protect, that's fine. I'll still kill the T-Tar, which is great. That means I avoid Low Kick, which is objectively huge. That's an 80 T-Tar. Obviously, it's an 80 T-Tar, so you don't need to risk. Salamence, even if it has like a Breaking Swipe here, isn't going to really make a difference. And Salamence is not the most offensive Pokemon either. If it's physical, it's -1 now, which is great. If it's special, that's fine. Draco is still pretty weak. Yeah, that's perfectly okay. Okay, so it's a -2 Salamence now that cannot intimidate my POW, which is great because that is my physical breaker at this point. Their Sand is not going to be able to pick off my POW from full, and their Tailwind is also gone now. I can go for an Icicle Crash pretty confidently into their Salamence, and then I can Flare Blitz the Corviknight or the Okie Dokie for that matter. They're gonna go for Okie Dokie. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, we're gonna go for Terra Poison here. Let me actually make sure that's gonna kill, for that matter. Let me double check. Well, specifically that I can take the hit. Okie Dokie. We're gonna go for the Assault Vest versus Shan. How? Terra Poison. And then we have 124 HP and 4. We can potentially take the hit. Yeah, we're gonna go for the Terra Icicle Crash. We might die to so we might die to Sand plus Drain Punch, but I'm kind of okay with that anyway. This is still gonna get some decent chip on Corviknight, to be fair. And again, this also has to be like max attack, to be fair, which is still good for me. And my Harkonine can still win the endgame, even with the Salamence present. So I'm kind of okay with that. Because even at -1, I should still deal some serious damage. We've also seen that Okie Dokie... Well, actually, the Okie Dokie might also just die to Flare Blitz, to be fair, next to Pow. Because Pow is still a fairly offensive Pokemon. And Corv is going to have to take a lot of pressure. Yeah, Corv dies. Perfect. Okay, so Corv dying is huge. It might just be Salamence against these two in the endgame. We'll have to see. Okie Dokie is going to take a lot from this Flare Blitz, though, since Sword of Ruin is boosting. And this is also offensive with Life Orb. That does look like it killed. Perfect. Okay. So yeah, now I win the game. Because at this point, I actually just click Sacred Sword and E-Speed, because it is my objectively most free line into this, since I don't mess around with accuracy. Salamence is already at well, not minus half. I don't know why I was going to say minus half health. It's at half health, or below half health. Sacred Sword, while it is a resisted hit, it's still going to hit fairly hard, and E-Speed, despite being -1, is still fairly decent priority. And the combination of the two, especially with Pow Sword of Ruin boost, will be enough. I am very confident in that. I do not have a bone in my body that actually doubts this play being Sacred Sword. Because if I miss an Icicle Crash and Salamence like goes for a Tailwind, then things kind of get dicey because it could potentially stall around me. But yeah, so E-Speed takes, but that's fine because it's still gonna have to die to Sacred Sword, which is huge. So I will take that. This Sacred Sword is gonna kill. Yep, perfect. Okay, sweet. I just had to make sure. I had to tuck around my little face cam thing. But yep, we managed to kill. I'm actually going to lower this window a little bit for future games so I don't have to keep doing that ducking motion around my face cam. But perfect. Okay. So yep, game 1 is ours. We will take that. The team cooked. Honestly, I felt very in control with that Terra Poison Pow. So I will definitely take it. With that said, we will see you guys in our second match of the day. All right, for game number 2, this is actually the first time in several videos, and I do mean like several videos, we're fighting someone actually with a lower rank than us. Which means that we're going in the right direction. Because typically I always thought that I am like the lowest ranked on the ladder. After using Dugong, that kind of gets through your head pretty quickly. But we're fighting someone with like literally within 100 of us. So, well, I think it's actually within 1,000 of us. Either way, I'll take it. I will definitely take it. We're taking on what looks to be a pretty decent Garchomp team though. There's probably like SD Scale Shot Chomp with that Grim being more of a screen setter. The other 4 just look kind of standard pieces. In terms of my lead, I actually think that this Tink is a really good matchup here. Like Tink actually kind of goes crazy because I can either fake out the Instant, I can go for decent pressure into things like Garchomp, and also the Grim, especially with Tailwind up. Like I think these two actually on lead get up a ton of pressure. The Chomp is probably Clear Amulet, so I don't really want to bring Kark. It doesn't have the best matchup here. I think honestly for my last 2, I go with like Tealpon and then Pow, and that should cover everything. My one concern with doing this is I feel like Urshifu Rapid is also a really needed piece here. But I think I can play Ogerpon really aggressively, and I think I can kind of make it work. Jury is going to be a little bit dicey here. I need Moon, though, for the Tailwind to get around Scale Shot Chomp, because this is probably Scale Shot Chomp or like Icy Wind Flutter next to Edgequake Chomp, and both of those are really scary. So I need Tailwind just to keep that advantage. Tink is still really valuable because they do not have great switch into that Dual Stab on this team at all. Really, the only one is Incineroar. And I guess kind of Ogerpon, but like it's mostly Incineroar that really wants to take that on. And I can definitely use that to my advantage. Also, Tink is a really good just piece as a whole here with Fake Out control. And Encore also being valuable. I can lock in that Incineroar into Fake Out and force it to swap, which is going to objectively be huge here. They're going to lead off with Flutter Mane and Roaring Moon. Honestly, I think there's a good world, like there's a serious world where like I just go straight into the Flutter Mane and just go for Tinkaton here. However, I don't know if I really want to do that. I don't know if I care to keep Instant alive. Not Instant, Moon alive if they're going to lead Flutter, I'll be honest. I thought they would lead Chomp and go really aggressive. Regardless, I'm going to go for Tailwind and Moon and just kind of see what I can make work. And then I'm going to go for a Fake Out into the Incineroar here because I kind of don't want... Well, actually, I don't really care about getting fake outed either, to be honest. I'm actually just going to go straight for the play rough into Flutter Mane. If they're going to go for a fake out of their own, I'm kind of fine with that. I'd rather just get the damage off at this point, I'll be honest. So I'm going to go for that. So we will see. Terra Fairy Flutter Mane, though, is honestly pretty okay. That's not too bad. It's going to do a lot of damage, but not to my Tinkaton, which is kind of okay, because I just need to get damage off into that. They're going to actually fake out my Tinkaton, which is kind of crazy, but I get it. They're going to go for Gleam on Flutter Mane. Still not too big of a deal. Again, I'll lose my speed control here, but I can still muscle this. This is actually still a fairly muscleable mon. I think that Pow is also probably just going to be a decent Terramon here, or even Ogerpon going for Teal can be decent Terra. So I can use both of those. I think for now I'm going to go into Pow and just go for Protect while I Encore the Ensign. Actually, no, I think I'm going to go for Terra Poison and just go straight for the Crash. And then I'll go for the Encore into Ensign with that. There's no reason to not do that, though, in my opinion. Again, just any pressure we can put on Ensign will be very valuable here, as making sure that thing cannot Flare Blitz down either my Pokemon is pretty huge. Not only this, but also just having Pow existing for a free turn without really taking much from things like Terra Fairy Flutter Mane will be really huge. They're actually going to swap anyway, which is really beneficial. Ogerpon Wellspring comes in, that's fine. They're taking an Ice Crash still, which is really good for me. They burn Terra, so this Ogerpon is going to be neutral to my Chimpow's Icicle Crash, which is great. And also, because we're Clear Amulet, we don't really need to fear the Incineroar, so that's fine. Literally, only Grim is going to actually stop this Pow from just massacring their team. And when Tink dies, which I can kind of now afford to do once I Encore the Incineroar and put them some pressure that way, I should be good. That is now in Sacred Sword range, which is great because it doesn't make contact, so even if they Spiky, I am okay with that. The Incineroar is probably going to swap here, so what I'll probably end up doing is I am going to go for a Sacred Sword into Ogerpon, claim my kill, and then just for good measure, I'm going to go for a Play Rough into Incineroar here, because it's either locked into Fake Out, or it's going to swap into something weak to Fairy. They're going to swap here. Is it going to be something that's weak to Fairy? Because they have a lot of mons weak to Fairy here. Chimpao, perfect. Weak to Fairy. That's great. So this is going to be a really good turn for us, actually. I can proceed to get a really strong amount of damage off in that Ogerpon. Spiky Shield is whatever. I can still Sacred Sword that on the following turn. And Pow is not that threatening to me, actually, because I have my Tinkaton and Pow combination here, which should threaten that very much so. Sacred Sword actually does make contact. I forgot about that. But still fine. Still honestly fine. Player of course, Pow avoids. Okay, that's whatever. Whatever. We're going to go for a Protect here, mostly to get around like an Icicle Crash this turn. And then I'm going to go for a... I think I'm going to go for a... Do I want to go for Player again? I feel like I have to go for a Gigaton here just to not... No, I'm going to go for Player again. I'm going to go for Player again. There's no reason to not go for Play Off, I feel like, in my opinion, despite the fact that Gigaton is still a fairly good click. Incineroar could come in a lot more easily on that. Perfect. Okay, sweet. We avoid Sucker Punch. Ogerpon did not proceed to go for Follow Play. Follow Me, which is great. And now, as long as I hit my Play Off, this Pow is going to take a lot. Perfect. Okay, I'll take that. We're going to go for a... We're going to go for a Sucker Punch into Ogerpon here. And then I'm going to go for a Play Off into Pow. My Pow should be fine here. Perfect. We are avoiding Spiky Shield damage. They're going to Sucker Punch me, but that's fine. Even if they do Sucker Punch me, though. Their Chimpao actually proves to be slower somehow, which is funny. That's really funny because we're not that fast. Their Pow dies. That's perfect. That's perfect. Genuinely perfect. Okay, so now I have to Sacred Sword the Ogerpon. I have to Gigaton what most likely will be the Flutter Mane. If that's not the case that comes in here, honestly, I just let Tink die. They're gonna go back in an instant. Okay, yeah, I just let Tink die. So specifically, yeah, they're gonna probably go for my... They might actually go for my Pow. I might just dual target my Pow. I feel like there's a world that happens, but just to be safe, I'm gonna go for Protect here. And then I'm gonna go for a... I'm gonna go for an Encore into the Incineroar. Just lock it into whatever it's gonna click here. Will probably be Fake Out. Most likely Fake Out in my Pow, so that way then Ogerpon can actually kill my Tinkaton. I might just Flare Blitz. If they Flare Blitz, it's kind of okay, though. Because that just means I'm going to lose my Tinkaton. Also, they'll be slower, so they will not be locked into it, which is kind of fine for me. Either way, though, we're going to go for the Protect. I think the Protect is objectively a very free play for us. They are going to go for Fake Out into my Pow. That is perfect. Ogerpon will probably kill Tank. I feel very confident in that, and that just means I get Tealpon in. Which actually opens up a whole different line, because with Tealpon coming in, actually, I can proceed to just go for a... I can instead lock Ivy Cudgel and go for that into the Ogerpon spot. Meanwhile, I can then Sacred Sword into Incineroar. I could also just proceed to go for dual fighting. Or even... So I'm definitely going to go for Sacred Sword into Incineroar. Let me double check my calcs real quickly. Incineroar... Without this Sacred Sword... It's not the best damage, I won't lie. That's not great damage. However, next to a Ogerpon Teal with Ivy Cudgel, Choice Band, and also this Sword of Ruin. Actually, that might kill. We could actually probably just lock Ivy Cudgel and just go straight into the instant here. Just dual target it. Perfect. Okay, so that gets around the Spiky Shield. Unironically, the combination of this will probably kill Instant, which is great. That is so funny. And I did make sure to calc that without... Yeah, okay, that'll kill. So that's a very not Fizz Def Instant. Oh, right, okay, they have Citrus Berry. I forgot Citrus Berry in my calcs. Well, even still, they took a lot more than I accounted for with Sacred Sword here. So Ivy Cudgel might just kill anyway, next to Pow. Perfect. Okay, that kills anyway. Perfect. Yeah, for what it's worth, this is a very not Fizz Def Incineroar, by the way. That might actually be a very fast Incineroar, I would argue. Because my Ivy Cudgel calc with just Jolly Band, which this Ogerpon is Jolly Band, with 164 attack, versus just standard calc Incineroar, it peaks at like 40%. So, yeah, good to note. Either way, we're going to go for an Icicle Crash and a Flutter Mane, and I'm going to go for Ivy Cudgel into the Flutter Mane because it's way more threatening. I'll be honest, I don't really care about Ogerpon, actually. They're going to have a Gleam here. Now, Gleam will hurt. My Ogerpon will probably die from that. No, actually, Ogerpon chews. Holy shit, this is a weak Flutter Mane. Like, this is a very weak Flutter Mane. Okay, thank God. I was actually kind of worried about Sash with how little damage that did. But they were playing it like specs, so I was a little bit unsure. I'm curious how we took that well. Like, I know these are both fairly invested Pokemon, but even still, I'm just curious how we took it that well. I'm almost curious if they have, like, no investment in this. Either way, I'll take the second win. With that said, though, let's see you guys in our final game of the day. All right, for our final game of the day, we're taking on a pretty interesting Farig... Well, not interesting. This is a standard Farig Trick Room team. I don't know why my thought was interesting. I guess after playing Garchomp, everything's interesting now. But regardless, though, we're 2-0 for the day. Let's see if we can keep it up. Against a team like this, honestly, I feel like my lead is probably going to go for, like, Tink and... I feel like Tink Pow is actually a really good lead here. That should put up a lot of pressure into everything they're going to go for. I can confidently fake out Farig too because we have Mold Breaker, which is actually really helpful in this case. It's like the best reason for Tink in general. Tealpon massacres this team. They have actually like only one Grass Check, and it's the Pokemon that benefits me, so I will take that. And then I think my final mon here is definitely one of these two. I'm leaning slightly more towards Urshifu Rapid. While they do have Whelpon, which kind of scares me, I think with Pow and Tealpon, I'm not too concerned with it. I don't really need Blood Moon. Not Blood Moon. I don't really need Roaring Moon. Honestly, it doesn't really offer me a lot this game. I don't need Tailwind against their team because that Flutterman is definitely more so like a Sash set on a team like this, if I had to guess. Even still, like, I would need to Terra Roaring Moon for it to be viable. And it doesn't offer me anything against Ogerpon that I can't already get. Farigiraf and Incineroar, that's fine. I'm going to proceed to just go for a Fake Out into their Incineroar. And then go for the... Actually, I'm going to Fake Out into the Farigiraf. Just really, like, stop it for this turn. They will go for the Intimidate here. That's kind of fine. But I'm going to go for the... Fake Out into Farig. And then I'll go for the Icicle Crash into Farig as well. I don't want to burn Terra Poison just yet. Because I think Tealpon could actually be a really good Terramon in this game. Because they lack a good check to it. There's a good chance that Incineroar probably just goes for Fake Out into Pow. I'm kind of okay with trading Fake Out here. They're going to actually Fake Out my Tinkaton, which is like the best case scenario. Because their Farig gets flinched. I get free Icicle Crash damage. And next turn, that's dead to Sacred Sword plus, that's dead to Sacred Sword plus Gigaton Hammer, which is huge. So we'll go for Gigaton Hammer, and we're going to go for Sacred Sword. We're going to claim our kill. We're going to claim our kill very freely here. They might switch to something like Ogerpon Wellspring, or maybe even like a Blood Moon, just to try and take that hit a bit better. Well, not Blood Moon. They might switch into Ogerpon Wellspring for that. Or even just like Protect and then swap out Instant and get Fake Out. Well, no, because even still, they would still, like, I can't intimidate my Clear and Lit Pow. So Pow is just kind of here to stay. I'll probably get Flare Blitzed. I'm kind of expecting a Flare Blitz here, which is whatever. They're going to be Citrus Berry. That's fine. Tink won't kill, but it will get off enough damage to where I'm kind of okay with this. And I can still put up some decent pressure here overall. Yeah, like, that's a nearly dead Farig at this point. I can manage this. Instant's going to Flare Blitz my Pow. It will kill, but they're taking a lot in recoil. And I can still kind of overwhelm this. The Frigg isn't really going to be that scary. They're actually going to go for Gleam. Okay, so they're really not that scary then. Yeah, I just go for Urshifu Rapid. Urshifu Rapid's going to be decent, and then I Encore, and I'll go for Terra Steel. Terra Steel has now become my win con because I can proceed to just go for the Encore, lock them into Gleam. They'll do nothing. Then I go for Surging Strikes into Instant, and they have like one check. Actually, I can go for Close Combat instead. Do I? Yeah, I go for Close Combat. Because even if Fluttermane comes in on this, I'm kind of okay with that. One, Fluttermane will not come in on this. But two, even if Fluttermane does come in, then I'm kind of okay. But I would rather click the Close Combat. I felt like Welpon was the slightly more likely switch in there. They're probably just going to go for a Parting Shot this turn, which is kind of okay. I don't really mind. But locking that into Gleam is going to be very important because neither of these Pokemon will take any real damage from Gleam. And Frigg has now kind of just become a very, not slightly, very useless Pokemon against my team. Incineroar is dead. Let's throw one Grass Resist on. And Tilpon with Ivy Cudgel just still does a lot of damage. So Tink is actually proven to be a pretty useful Pokemon, I can't lie. I had hopes for Tink. I'm a Tink lover. Tink is one of my favorite ones this gen. So I had hopes. I had hopes Tink would do good. I didn't think it would be doing this good. I'm going to be completely honest. I thought it would be like maybe one game. But no, the Mon's kind of cooking. I won't act like it wasn't shoehorned on game 1. But games 2 and 3, it's actually done some decent damage. So I will take that. They're going to bring Urshifu here. That's fine. It is going to be Urshifu single as expected. We're going to proceed to go for a Player Off into that Urshifu. And then I'm going to go for a Surging Strikes into the Urshifu. And just put up some immediate pressure into that Pokemon. If they go for Detect to get around my Player Off, that's fine. They have to, oh, perfect. They're going to drop their defenses. That's huge. Okay, so this is really good for us because they're going to drop their defenses. On top of that as well, if they're Sash Urshifu, they have to take this Player Off. They're going to get brought down to Focus Sash. And despite the fact they can Sucker Punch my Ogerpon, don't really care because in theory, there is a world I can follow Melock, which is kind of viable. However, I'm going to go for, they don't know that, to be fair. I'm actually just going to go for my Gigaton into Frigg just to guarantee the hit. And then I'll go for the Ivy Cudgel into Urshifu. There's not a backline Pokemon that would threaten me at this point from clicking Ivy Cudgel plus Player Off. So I'm going to go for that. We'll go for Gigaton here into the Frigg. And then I'm going to go for Ivy Cudgel into the Urshifu. Urshifu cannot kill me with Sucker Punch. I'm very confident in that. I am pretty certain of my calc there that it will not kill me. So I'm going to go for this. And then if it really does go for like Terra Dark, Sucker Punch, and it happens to kill me, then my opponent wins. There's not really a lot I can do about that. There's not a switch in they can make, though, that will actually help them with this because they have no Grass Check outside of Incineroar. There's not a Terra they can go for on either of these Pokemon that keeps them alive because they're both too weak. I guess Frigg can actually maybe Terra Water, and that might take it out. Well, that might not take it out because it were -1. But even still, like, it's Gigaton Hammer, and Tink is not... It's not the strongest Pokemon, but it's strong enough to where I think it can do enough at this point. They're going to swap out Frigg. That's fine. It's still in range of Ivy Cudgel, and they're going to take a good amount from this Ursaluna at least, which is still fine for me. That Urshifu is thankfully not clicking Sucker Punch here, which is amazing. And Ursaluna still has to take a Gigaton Hammer, which is amazing for us as well. What I'll probably do is I'm going to proceed to go for the... I'll probably just go for a Gigaton Hammer again into Tink. Well, ooh, never mind. That did, like, nothing. So Frigg is definitely going to come in here. I'm trying to think of my win con. So, does Ogerpon... I'm trying to think of my win con here. Okay. So, do I need to hit Player Off to actually win this? I feel like I do. Okay. So... So they've seen Encore, so I don't think they're going to click Encore here. Tinkaton... -1. 44. Impish. Player Off will definitely probably take this. I'm going to Player Off into the Frigg spot, and I'm going to Ivy Cudgel into the Frigg spot. Ivy Cudgel will obviously go first. That's more just because I'm going to go for it anyway. They're going to go for a Terra here. That's fine. They're going to Terra the Ursaluna. That's fine. So it's going to be Terra normal. Okay, so this is going to hit really fucking hard. Ursaluna. If they clicked Hyper Voice on a Helping Hand here, that's good game. They're going to go for Protect. Okay, perfect. That's really good for us. That's really good for us. I won the game off of that, actually. My opponent choked really badly doing that. They've seen I have Encore. I feel like, honestly, clicking Blood Moon and guaranteeing that KO into Ogerpon, well, actually, maybe not Blood Moon, but definitely Hyper Voice was their play. I will take this. This is so good for us. Girly Pops, this is so good for us. Ogerpon Tink duo is actually rampaging. Nothing can handle them. They're so good. They're so good. They're cooking VGC with that. Ivy Cudgel's gonna go off. This will probably do about a third. Actually, that does like half. So we'll take that. And then they're Encore to protect. And they guarantee lose the game now. They can't win anymore. I said so. I said that they can't win anymore. I've deemed it impossible. So protect failed because they went last. They're gonna guarantee land protect this turn. That's fine. I'll click player off. And I'll click Ivy Cudgel. And then I'll click Ivy Cudgel and Tinkaton. Battle was canceled. Perfect. We win the game. 3-0 for the day. This team cooked. Honestly, such a fun team. Thank you very much to the creator of this team, of course. I'm gonna actually pull it up really quickly, because I want to like actually properly credit like the person behind the username for this one. But I'll link. I'm regardless gonna link their stuff. I know that their Twitter was on Victory Road's website for the Orlando regional page when you go through top cut results. So I am gonna link their Twitter down below at the very least. Thank you very much though. It was Richard Mogulin, Chef Rich on Twitter. So thank you very much for the team. This was a very fun team to use, and I am definitely glad that I got to show it off. I had a lot of fun using Tink. It's, again, really cool mon. I have not got to show it off as much as I would have liked to this generation, frankly. And if it wasn't for this team, I probably wouldn't have this format yet again. So yeah, if you want to try it yourselves though, the link to the team is going to be down below. And if you enjoyed and want to see more content like this, like and subscribe for more. Tomorrow we're using a Scarlet team, which is going to be fairly awesome. And also, while you're at it, consider becoming a channel member. For just a couple dollars a month, you get some nice bonus content. Currently, we have 6 members, being Zeke, Mia, Rao Sakura, Obo, Endless Gadgets, and Incog M. Thank you guys very much for your support on the channel. It means the world. And with that said, I will see you guys tomorrow for another video. Until then, peace out, guys.